One, two, three.
No, I'm not.
Oh, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Chalkboard History. Bonus edition. Surprise edition.
For the record, I have no idea what's about to happen.
That's why it's called a surprise, Joseph. This episode, Joseph says goodbye. So now what we're going to try and do is we'll just, we're actually really good at sort of riffing on things. So here's what we're going to do. Joseph has decided that he is going to leave the Battle of Franklin Trust. He is going back to Louisiana. So official announcement. Dun, da, da, da.
The official announcement comes in the way of a Chalkboard History episode.
The official announcement is that we're retiring Chalkboard History. Chalkboard History ends with this episode.
Wow.
But we will have something new. But it is, I think, appropriate because we started this. So now we're going to end it. And we're not going to talk about history.
Wow.
We're just going to talk about you. We're going to talk about what you...
I don't even like me that much.
We're going to talk about what you have experienced over the last 3 years, what you learned, what you've enjoyed, maybe, a little bit about where you're going. If you want to talk about that, we could talk about, baseball, how much the Pirates are never going to win anything. Never.
Sell
never,
the team.
Never. No.
That's my official statement is sell the team.
No, you need to suffer immeasurably like many of us have for years. So when you're my age, the Pirates will probably still suck. Right? They'll still suck. So Joseph's saying goodbye. So tell us what's going on.
So several weeks ago, my wife and I and our family, we sat down, we made a decision to leave Middle Tennessee and return back to Louisiana. We have been here for 3.5 years on our own, basically. And we have wonderful friends and people who are like family here. But we do want to get back to our hometowns, back to our family members, especially as we start our little family and everything. So that is the entire motivation. And he doesn't have a gun to me. He's not making me say this. He's got finger guns, and I can deal with those. I can't tell you. Oh my goodness! I can't tell you how much I have enjoyed the last 3 years and working for the Battle of Franklin Trust. This has been truly, seriously, the experience of a lifetime, and I owe a serious debt of gratitude to that man and to this organization.
Oh, you're getting a little choked up.
I am getting a little choked up. God Almighty, didn't expect that. Let's talk about baseball.
The Pirates suck.
The Pirates suck.
The Pirates suck.
Oh, it'll never be Bucktober. Not in my lifetime.
The Pirates were really fun because they had Barry Bonds before he was a big steroid cheater. And he was such a great player.
Yeah. There's a little part of me.
Jim Leland used to smoke cigarettes in the dugout. Man, I miss those days.
Yeah.
A little whiskey in the coffee.
Yeah.
2:00 in the afternoon on a Sunday.
Yeah.
Smoking a Winston.
Yeah.
Man, those were the days.
Yeah. Chip came in the other day with Murray Wills's patch.
Chip texted me and asked me if I knew who Murray Wills was. And I was like, I'm a baseball fan.
Of course.
So Chip's he'll be watching this. He'll be like, I didn't know that he already knew. And I was like, of course I knew. He was one of the greatest base stealers ever. Yeah. But yes, he has a little Murray Wills patch.
Yeah. Yeah. Paul Skeens, our guy of the century right now.
Who?
Paul Skeens.
Who?
Paul Skeens.
Who's that?
Probable rookie of the year at the time that we're recording this episode.
Oh, he plays for the Pirates. I don't know.
He does, in fact.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So, what'd you learn in 3 years? What'd you learn that you didn't know?
God.
And not about history.
That's what I was going to say. Is I don't know that it's the history thing that's been the most impressive thing that I've learned. I think it's how important public history is, how important the work that we are in is, because you can't teach some of this stuff in a classroom. You can't get the feel for it in a classroom. But my God, when you get in front of a group of people and you've got to try and find a way to talk about the American Civil War, the Battle of Franklin, and how it's important to the people that lived here, I think there's no way that you can't do that anywhere else but here. I think that's one part of it. And then just personally and professionally, I've seen a lot of change in my own life, how I look at things. And I think certainly how a site like this is run, how it's managed, and what goes on in day to day has been the most impressive and the most inspiring, most rewarding thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I mentioned a little bit of this to you the other day. So I've been at this 20 years. And so when I got into public history, I had no idea what I was even getting into. Mm-hmm. And I was really like the historian. I wasn't like the self-designated one. I mean, I just fit into that role at Carnton. And then when we started managing Carter House, I wrote a few things. So I mentioned this to you, but I think everybody out there should know that when we have been doing all of these episodes, there's literally no prep.
No.
Like none.
None.
We just pick a topic and we just go with it.
Yeah.
It's like a band that can just endlessly jam because you just know where it may go and you're comfortable with where it may go. And I'm saying all this because we never had a historian. So Joseph was promoted. He became the BOFT's historian. And as I said to you the other day, I have no interest whatsoever in having another historian because I got the one that I wanted, and I'm not going to, I can't replace that position. Maybe that changes in the future with someone, but this kind of knowledge, which isn't really institutional knowledge, it's a knowledge that comes out of just being, well, you have to be ridiculous and just read all the time, and you're just immersed in it. And so it becomes part of you that, like, we can talk about First Bull Run or Shiloh or Manassas or Chickamauga or Franklin, and there are only a few people who can do this. I used to say years ago, there are a lot of people that are historians, and it's like lowercase h, and I'm not trying to be snotty when I say that. Yeah. It's true. I've never seen a field where there's so many people who consider themselves knowledgeable or experts. Mm-hmm. And honestly, they're not. They know a little bit. This is a historian. And he didn't become that. You didn't become that because you went to school. I used to joke that those degrees on the wall don't define your knowledge. They don't. They absolutely don't. And so, as Joseph says goodbye, we have, 2 months? We're filming this in October. You're leaving just before Christmas. One last anniversary.
Now's the time.
Yeah, well, it's been a good run. It's been a good run for you. It's been a good run for the organization. You came in as COVID was finally retreating, and we had just taken over management at Ripa Villa.
Yeah.
You're not going to get to see the Carter House Visitor Center ground get broken, but you can come back. I have a pre-bid meeting on that later today where we have 13 contractors. Mm-hmm. And I fully intend to tell them, one of you better come in under the number, okay? So don't waste my time. Mm-hmm. Make sure that you come in under the number because that's a big part of the history that we talk about. We need that new visitor center, and we need to tell that history to an ever-growing number of people.
I would say I'm super excited to come back and see it. And I know we talked about this. It's going to be different. It'll be very weird. It'll be very, very odd for me to come back and look at it. But to know that at least I was in at this point. Right? And I told somebody the other day, I didn't think I was going to be here long enough to say things like some of the old timers do. Like, oh, you don't remember when it was like really busy. But somebody was complaining the other day about giving their third tour. And I was like, dude, you realize when I started here in the summer of 21 and there was a day where I had to give 5 tours at Ripa Villa, and then the very next day I did 4 tours at Carnton, and I don't think I ever really sat down and stopped for 2 or 3 days. You can't complain about giving 3 tours in the middle of October. It's just a good day.
No, and what I've learned about public history is this is really, I still think this is really where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
You know, as far as there's history that involves protecting things that are old, whether that's ground or whether that's an object or a uniform or a letter. But one thing about public history is the people who visit, they spend their hard-earned dollars. They come out all year long, but they will also tell you the pulse of the country and what they're afraid of, what they think, what they want to know. And I think that's really, really good. And I have to say personally, when I said to you, yeah, it's going to be strange, it's never going to be the same. Because when you leave that day and you're no longer an employee, there is something that changes. There are just, this is the course that I chose. I now realize that more than ever, is that I wouldn't know how to walk away. And I don't know when that happens, but I have also realized that through the years, because I've been thinking about all of the people that have worked for this organization, and now you're on that, soon to be on that list. And there's some that were part-timers and short-timers and what, but there have been, you know, a handful of people who've put in 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years that were hugely instrumental. And some of you watching or listening might never have known these people. And they all play this incredibly crucial role, and so did you. And I will say that as far as the anniversary goes, that's probably, you may not have thought about this, that's going to be one of the biggest challenges, because I haven't had to be involved in that, because you and Bailey, for the most part, have been taking care of that. So those are the voids that have to be filled. But good luck. You will miss this a great deal. But I do think you're also going in the right direction. Because I think your skill set really was honed here. And I think you're going to do great things. I think you're going to do great things in a different arena of public history.
He's going to make me cry on YouTube, but it's hay fever. I'm just wistful. That's all. It's very dusty in this room.
Final words as you say goodbye to the viewers and to our long run with Chalkboard history.
I'm going to miss this. And it sucks, you know, the decision-making process and all that. But I appreciate everybody who's watched, everybody who has sent us an anonymous Facebook message. That's always been a really fun thing, is I really like your videos. It's like,
or thanks. You woke liberals.
Yeah. There's really no in between. Nobody just says like, oh yeah, great video. It's usually you're terrible or I love you.
Yes.
And so, you know, whatever. But I appreciate your support through the whole thing, and you guys, everybody who's watched and who's listened over the last, almost a year and a half, 2 years that we've been doing this.
I think it's been almost 2 years. Yeah.
So there's still a lot of work to be done, and I can tell you I'm already excited to come back to Franklin year after next, and it'll go back hopefully to being kind of like it was before I came here, is that I can come and I can see the anniversaries and I can be a part of that special moment again.
And then years from now, when Hattie's like 15 and I'm probably still going to be here, I can come back. You can come back and I can tell her, I remember when your dad did this. Oh, and I yelled at him this one day when he made this really terrible mistake, or he really had this great idea. But you know what's really strange about time is she will get to view this in a way that will be very, I think will mean a great deal to her, even though she has no idea about it right now.
Yeah. That
she will know that you were part of this and making this organization what it is and what it will be into the future. Yep. So,
always exciting things to come.
Joseph says goodbye. He's not going to a cemetery.
No, not.
He's just saying goodbye.
Not if the good Lord's will and the creek don't rise. I'm not going to the cemetery. Yeah.
Final words? Anything else? Goodbye?
Goodbye.
C'est la vie? That's not goodbye, is it?
No, that's such is life.
Such is life.
Such is
C'est
life.
la vie. Look at that.
Yeah.
We throw a little French in at the end as you're going back to the French part of the nation. All right. If you want to see Joseph, you've got 2 months to do it. Come out, take a tour, come see us for the anniversary. Thanks for watching, everybody. We will be back after after the first of the year with a new, with some new product. But do we want to play taps for Chalkboard history? There we go. There we go. I think it's time to say goodbye.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Thank you.
You're welcome.